So welcome back to Human Capital Town and my Minecraft game server. So not a few. There's a few things that changed between last time and this time around. I got myself a pet cat and a pet dog in the game. Pretty unrelated to the actual learning journal itself, but I thought I would keep myself company while I built things in this game. So things like these quadrants are still exactly the same as last time. This values house is still relatively the same. Well, actually, it's exactly the same with the same signs and everything. The LinkedIn logo here that I built a while ago, I kind of put up some new frames up here, but other than that, it is essentially the same. These parts are all the same too. But if you head over to the center of the map, I now have this new path that leads us to new parts of the town. Um, the pyramid over there is also still exactly the same, still the old pyramid. But yeah, let's go look at some new stuff that I've added. So the first new thing that I've added is my personal brand. So this is what I call the Absolute Zero Igloo. It is a play on my name, Kelvin, because zero Kelvin is absolute zero. So that's kind of my brand, and this is a igloo that I built. I kind of felt like it was a little bit too short of an igloo, but yeah, I mean, I would have preferred to expand it a little bit taller, but due to limitations of my building, I kind of just built it that way. But once you head on in, you should see some polar bears, which is part of the game, and it's awesome that I have polar bear in my brand. But to look around, I have things like zero arrogance. So everything that's in here, all my signs are based upon again my brand, and also zero something because of that absolute zero. So absolutely zero arrogance, something that I've learned from this class. Absolutely zero moral compromises throughout life. And on this side, I have absolutely zero time or 0 minutes lived without fun. I once did this. I think it was the Michigan Model of Leadership. It was built by Professor Bob Quinn. And one of the things that I chose to value above all else was having fun and humor in life. So that's something that I learned about myself. So absolutely 0 minutes lived without fun. And over here, I have absolutely zero movies watched without a review. I love watching movies. I call myself a little bit of a film critic. It's actually on my resume. I have reviewed, I think, 770 films up to this point of my life. So this is a little hobby of mine I like doing. And yeah, that is my personal brand. Obviously, there is still a lot more to do. And I plan in the future, once I develop more of a brand of my own, to put more polls in this room. But for now, that is for my pillars of my personality. All right, next up. Oh, there's some people farming over here. That's really cool. Next up, we have. Oh, let's check this part out. This is something that I've built from the suggestion that you gave me last time, Professor. This is my A3E2. So we have agility, engagement, ability, emotional intelligence, and aspiration here. I'll start with agility. So this is actually something called a parkour course. This is a type of game that's actually played within Minecraft, this bigger game. There's actually a community of people who loves doing this particular type of challenge in this game. This game, you can do a bunch of different things in it. You can engage in battles with other players. You can build worlds like I did with this little town. You can explore, you can mine, and some people like doing this parkour course. So this is kind of a representation of agility because there is certain skill associated with being able to reach the top over there. Let's see if I can do it the first try. All right, yeah. So learning agility, I would like to start taking more risks. I think I am relatively adaptable. I can learn really quickly, and it's one of the strengths that I've utilized throughout my college career, being able to sometimes maybe not the best thing, but sometimes study maybe a week before for a final and be perfectly fine. So I want to take more risk, take more classes that I wouldn't have taken previously, and actually learn more in those classes. So that's one of the agility that I want to work on here. And over here on this side, we have engagement. And for engagement, I kind of want to represent that by a lone island in the sky. So I have this thing called Enderpearl that I can use that can help me teleport to that island there. But the idea is that I want to be more engaged and more focused, and this is kind of, let's see if it works. Oh, okay, it worked. So I want to focus on being in the here and now. That's kind of the engagement I want to focus on, and this lone island kind of represent that, being here and now. Yeah, so I want to be more engaged when I do things, even though I am relatively engaged now, but it's usually on things that I'm more passionate about. So I want to be more engaged in all things in life versus just things I'm passionate about. Okay, let's put that back in. And then over here we have ability, and I kind of wanted to represent that with this bullseye thing that I'm trying to shoot. So I think, oh, my cat is sitting on the chest. Gotta move this cat out of the way. Okay, I have a trident here, which is a throwable object that you can do in this game, and let's see if I can hit right smack in the center there. Perfect. So what I want to do is build on my abilities. So I do have a lot of opportunities that was presented to me. For example, going to the University of Michigan, Ross School of Business. That puts me above in terms of abilities than a lot of other people, but I think there's still so much more to learn. And just looking at my peers who already started businesses in college, I want to be like them. I want to do more than I've done right now. So build on my abilities is definitely on one of my checklists of things I want to do before graduate from Michigan. Okay, emotional intelligence. So I actually was the co-chair for one of Sanger's program this year. It was called Leader X, and our focus this year was emotional intelligence. And I have actually pinpointed something I want to work on more. And it's represented in this little kind of cave-looking thing. And you go down here. It's this area where I want to improve on my self-regulation. And specifically, I feel like I'm a very emotional person. I get affected by emotion really easily in a business context and also in a school context. So in all aspects, I really want to work on improving my self-regulation. That will be the one thing regarding emotion intelligence I want to work on. Okay, and then the last one, but not the least, is aspiration. And I have this kind of armor here to represent what, like, the future, kind of. Because this is, in the game, supposed to be the best set of armor. It's made of pure diamond. And yeah, it kind of represents dreaming big for me. I want to do a lot of things in life. And I actually read somewhere where one thing about people and why there's no more people like Steve Jobs or more people who started companies is because they're afraid to dream big. They're afraid of being extraordinary. And I think sometimes I do have that fear. I don't want to take risk. I just want to go to a normal company, work for 40 years, retire, and have, the normal life. But I kind of want to challenge myself there to dream bigger and try for more things and try for bigger goals. So that's something I want to do there. But yeah, that right here is my A3E2. And let's move on to the last part that's new on my map, which is over here. And this is my artist rendition of a car. Specifically, this is a General Motor car. I wrote it's a Cadillac, but you can really think of this as any type of car. It looks more like a SUV than anything, so you can kind of think of this as SUV. Tail lights there, and then there's some headlights over here, and there's actually a license plate. It's MO415. But yeah, this is my lessons I learned from Mary. From her specific speech to us. And if you come into this car, it's not steered by a wheel, well, not a steering wheel, but actually steered by a book. It's kind of a representation of how knowledge drives HR. So that's kind of why I chose to put a book here instead of a steering wheel. And oh wow, perfect. The sun is setting right now. It's a really pretty view here. But here are my biggest takeaways from Mary's speech. I know she told us so many things, and I think these are the ones that resonated with me the most. So the first one being, leadership is hard. She was telling us stories about the type of challenges she faced with Congress, with President Trump. So leadership is hard. It's kind of that one big node where everyone wants to be a CEO, but maybe not everyone's ready for that challenge. And again, close to that is my aspiration of trying to dream bigger, not to be afraid of those challenges. The second one is regarding her suggestion to, if I want to be a CEO in the future and one day, what should I do now? And she was talking about how you should get to the core of the industry, really be able to do more than just HR, which is something that I've been trying to work on more. I started a dual degree in the School of Information because I wanted to do more technical skills than just business. So that's definitely something that I want to work on. And then she also said something about there's no substitute for hard work. And I think in a way, everyone knows that. Like every single person knows there's no substitute, but people slack off. So writing it here kind of reminds me again and again that there is no substitute for hard works. And she talked about having good mentors. I think she mentioned you as one of the mentors, Professor. I just think that this is so critical in something that I want to try doing. I don't really think I have a mentor in my life right now, so I kind of want to go out in a venture and try to find more mentors. But yeah, that has been update 2 to my HR town. So that's the car, representing lessons from Mary, and over here is that A3E2, and then that is my personal brand Igloo. That's modeled after Absolute Zero and Freezing Point. Yeah, that has been my HR town. I'll try to find a way to have this map be downloadable, but I think you have to have the game to be able to play in this yourself. But I'll also have that link somewhere in case that's something you want to do. But thank you so much for checking out my MO415 Human Capital Town.